Left versus right, us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, how do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Welcome to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thank you so much for joining us here on WYSL. We are live until 1 p.m. today, so give us a call, 585-346-3000. And, of course, shout out down the line to our friends over at WACK out in Newark and WENY, the Patriot down in the Southern Tier. We appreciate you being here as well. And I'm joined by Mr. Bob Savage.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, my goodness. Bob, it's been forever.
It has.
It's been too long.
It has. What have you been doing here? You changed the name of the show and everything. I don't know what to do.
I know. You haven't been on since it was Radio Free New York back in the day.
Yeah, way back, yeah. In Old English type.
Exactly. Ancient times. But having you here again, I want to have you on more often because, you know, I think you know things sometimes. I feel like I miss your wisdom on the show.
Oh,
and it
what
anchors
a nice thing to say.
Yes, it's Christmas time. Well, it's Festivus also.
Festivus, feats of skill. Yep.
Yeah. So you know, I do have plenty of grievances to air,
Good.
but not at you today. I'm not going to air them at you. I'm going to give you the Christmas good stuff, the flattery. But for Congress, it's airing a grievances time.
Oh my gosh.
Which of course Rand Paul does every year. He always has a nice, great Twitter thread airing of grievances. I'll share that on the online thread. But there's plenty of grievances to air today as Americans are looking at what on earth Congress is doing with the COVID relief bill and the omnibus bill. Mm-hmm. Which, if y'all haven't read the whole thing, well, neither is Congress.
No,
because
5,000 pages. I mean, you know, somebody did a study on this, and it would take somebody to really analyze the technical language in this thing and all the legalities. It would take them a month to read it.
Yeah, and not just 5,000, 5,593 pages.
Yeah.
Let's not skimp on all the pages that Congress is definitely not reading. And of course, they were given all of 6-7 hours to read this thing before they voted. Even though there's supposed to be a rule where they get 72 hours to look at this, Democrats and a handful of Republicans too joined in to say they were going to suspend the rules and vote on this right away because after 8 months of doing absolutely nothing, it is suddenly urgent to pass this 5,593-page bill written by congressional leaders in secret with who knows what's in it. Well, we're still finding out. We're still finding new things in it. Again, there are two separate bills, too. There's a COVID relief bill, and then there's kind of a general spending bill. Mm-hmm. All these are kind of wrapped into one.
I was just looking it up here. $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia. $134 million to Burma. Find Burma on a map out there, folks. $1.3 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian military. Trump says the Egyptian military will go out and buy most likely exclusively Russian military equipment. $25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's great.
Pakistanis generally are confused about gender. I don't know if you're aware of that, Kevin. Because I think a lot of Pakistanis wear their pants backwards, so they're not quite sure what they've got down there. $505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama.
All worthy causes, and I'm sure that now that they're flush with American money, that everything will be fixed there now. It's going to be great. We have solved the world's problems. Thank goodness.
It's all fixed now. Yep.
Merry Christmas to everyone except for Americans who, again, we've paid, roughly $3,000 each to pay for this bill. And now government's sending us $600 back. Well, some of us $600 back, expecting us to be grateful.
That's a great deal. Who out there would not trade $3,000 for $600? I mean, come on.
If I don't. I am so baffled by anyone who I don't actually know anyone who is like, yes, this was a good idea. This is a great deal. Thank goodness we have $600 back. Like, what does that? What does it even cover? It doesn't even cover your taxes, anyone's taxes, for a year. Because and not just federal taxes. Just can you pay your rent on that? Can you pay? Do you pay more than that in sales taxes in a year?
If that covers your rent, I don't want to come to your house because I don't want to get the fleas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, $600 a month.
Oh, maybe you can rent a room for that.
Yeah.
Even in Rochester, it's relatively cheap in Rochester, but you can barely the lowest rent I've ever seen is someone who's renting a single room in a house, and it was like $500.
Yeah.
And that was like 8 years ago, so it's probably not even a thing anymore.
But I mean, the name of this stupid bill is the COVID relief bill, and 99.994% of it has nothing to do with COVID. They want to spend in this legislation. I mean, I understand what Trump is saying, and we'll get to what his response is here down the road. But they want to spend $1 billion on museums and galleries in the Washington D.C. Capitol. $1 billion for museums and galleries that aren't even open?
Yeah, right now. Like, why? Of all things, like. I'd probably be against a lot of that anyway, but of all things, right now, they're going to spend that money on that? That's an insult to us. Again, they're taking our money and just giving us a little pinch back and expecting us to be grateful for that?
Well, that's kind of the way that they do it.
It is the way they do it. But, and again, we talk about that on this show all the time. We're always talking about that. But I think it's becoming more obvious to more Americans that this is what's happening, is that government takes a bunch of your money, they break your legs, and then you're supposed to be grateful that they give you crutches. Thank goodness the government's here to help.
Thank you. Yeah.
You've saved. And plenty of members of Congress have been, critical of the whole process to begin with, too. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the squad, she pointed out, this is the second biggest bill in U.S. history, $2.5 trillion. And they didn't get to see it until 1 p.m. They're expected to vote on it that same evening. Now, of course, she voted for it anyway, so I get only half credit for her. Members like Congressman Thomas Massey, and a few other principled members of Congress did not vote for it.
Yep. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Mike Lee.
I think there were 6 members of the Senate who didn't vote for it. So even most of the Republicans also voted for this bill too. This isn't just. I've seen a few people say like, "Look what the leftist Democrats did." I'm like, no, this ain't just them.
92-6 in the Senate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a both party problem. Again, everything happened in secret. When all the newspaper headlines said Congress has made a deal. No, Congress didn't make a deal. Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell made a deal. That's what happened. This wasn't a process that took place, through parliamentary procedure, using Robert's rules, adding amendments, doing all. None of that happened. The whole congressional process that you think is supposed to happen didn't actually take place. And only a few members of Congress are calling that out too. Again, we don't have a functional legislative branch right now. We have a small group of people who are controlling the entire thing. And you can't possibly know what's in this. We've named off a few of the ridiculous things. We're still going to find out their stuff. They've thrown clauses for, making it a federal crime now to stream content illegally. So that's a thing that got thrown in there. Surprise! That's a new part of the law now. There's more ridiculous studies out there. Rand Paul did a good job pointing out a few of them. Let me see if I can find his list of them, because there's always so many. Oh, here's that $37.5 million to help deal with truant Filipino youth. So cool. Thanks.
There's something in there about reef fish too. I'm not quite sure what a reef fish is, but yeah.
$1.5 million for walking lizards on a treadmill.
But what?
I don't know what they're trying to find with those lizards on a treadmill. Maybe we have too many obese lizards, and
Well,
it's
I
time
think
to do
that's true,
something
but why
about
should
it.
the American public have to pay for those fat lizards?
That's right.
And my fear is that a lot of them will run for office and get elected. But, I mean, and who would be surprised?
The free market needs to deal with the obese lizards, and the lizard owners. Y'all need to take some responsibility. This is not the U.S. taxpayers' job to exercise your lizards. That's a firm stance I feel comfortable taking.
Yes, I'll join in with that.
All right, excellent. All right, thanks again, folks, for joining us on A Free Solution. We're going to be back in just a few minutes.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
When you've been seriously injured in a car crash, you need a lawyer who knows how to beat the big insurance companies. Call me and I'll take them on so you can focus on your health and family.
Car crash, call Salino. Salino, call Salino. 888-2020.
Main Street, Rochester.
Rochester's only NCAA Division II athletic scholarship program wants you. Our Life in the Balance approach to athletics will provide you with an opportunity to succeed in the classroom and in your sport while allowing you the time to be involved with your personal interests and even study abroad. The Redhawks compete in the East Coast Conference, and their student athletes excel in the classroom and on the playing field. If you're ready for the challenge of high-level athletics while earning a college degree that will prepare you for the future, visit robertsredhawks.com.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host today, joined by Bob Savage.
Hello, all, and Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas. And if you want to join this conversation, if we're missing out on one of the ridiculous things that is in this either COVID relief package or the whole package of budget legislation that got passed by both the House and Senate recently, it has not yet been signed by the president.
No, he's saying he's going to veto it.
Well, he didn't say the word veto, but he kind of implied it. And apparently it hasn't actually reached the president's desk yet because it's taking so long to put together the final version of the bill because you need to correct for spelling errors and all that stuff and any other changes that the bill had in conference that they haven't gotten it to him yet. And so once he does get that, he can either choose to veto, kick it back to Congress, and if he does that before the 28th, Congress can either try to override it or send an amended version of the bill back to the White House. And why I say the 28th is because that's supposed to be the last day that Congress is supposed to be in session in this calendar year before the new Congress comes in next year.
I'm just thankful that they're only spending $25,000 teaching English to rural unemployed Romanians. Let's see, 5 years of monitoring elections in Zimbabwe. That was $10 million. Why couldn't we have like 1 month of monitoring elections in Wisconsin?
You know, they are sending a bunch of money to Georgia for monitoring elections, just not the Georgia in the U.S.
Yeah.
The other Georgia.
The other Georgia.
So,
they tested if
Georgia's getting it.
Can hot tubbing lower stress? $2 million study there.
I mean, I feel like you could just gather some anecdotal evidence for that, you know. Yeah, maybe. If they sent me a hot tub instead of $600, maybe I would be less stressed. I don't know. I don't know. I might take that.
Oh, listen, they spent $4.5 million spraying alcoholic rats with bobcat urine.
Oh, did it work? What are they trying to see?
Well, we weren't at that cheesy budgetary level. You weren't expecting them to get actual answers, were you? They didn't get any answers.
What do they expect drunk rats to do?
Sprayed alcoholic rats with bobcat urine.
I don't I don't know what they're supposed to accomplish with some of these. It's
supposed to be accomplished with any of this stuff. And this is supposed to be the COVID relief bill.
Guys, if any of you are involved with the alcoholic rat study, please give our station a call, 585-346-3000. Explain to us why I should be paying for this. Like, what goal did we accomplish for science and the American people by spraying alcoholic rats with bobcat urine? Maybe it is essential. Maybe I'm just ignorant here. Maybe I don't know.
$4.5 million. That's a lot of bobcat urine.
It is. I mean, you gotta. The bobcats aren't happy about collecting it. I have to assume. So it takes a lot of people to wrangle them. I'm just assuming here.
And what are they feeding the alcoholic rats? Like Courvoisier, Remy Martin cognac or something? I mean, just give them some generic beer, man.
Only the best. The rats, they have a good sense of taste. Apparently,
yeah.
We can't skimp on the rats. Otherwise, the study's compromised. And if you feed them that swill, they're just going to turn their noses up at it. I'd assume. I mean, that's really the only explanation I can come up with. There's also $1.327 million to see if you'll eat ground up bugs. Bob, will you eat ground up bugs?
I haven't seen the study yet, so I can't answer the question.
That's a good point.
Let's see what else. We got some other goodies in here too. Repurposed COVID response funds for unrelated acquisitions. $1 billion? Oh, yeah, because this is the military. $1 billion. Repurposed COVID response funds. Ay.
All right. So I'm sure that's going to be put to great use.
I mean, we could go. The thing is, Kevin and I could go on and on and on. There's this giant. This is the Festivus report on fraud and waste that comes from Rand Paul, and it totals what is it, 54 billion total, absolutely abjectly total waste. None of this stuff you couldn't begin to justify any of it.
Yeah, listen, this is just the most ridiculous stuff. This is the stuff that, like, you can look at the surface level and be like, why? Who on earth approved this? Who said yes to all of this nonsense? And that's not even, like, digging into, like, all the other waste that looks like it could be something useful in there. And there are hundreds of billions of dollars, I'm sure, in all of that stuff as well. And again, that's just the regular budget. That's all that stuff. We got the COVID relief bill, which is, sending $600 to every American. There's the PPP program. There's subsidies for any politically connected business as well. Like the criticism the big criticism I had for last time, I was like, okay, fine. Like I get the desire to send relief to Americans who are now out of work because of government actions. Like I can get that. I can grok that. But what I don't like is, again, how sloppy it was, how it was sent to a lot of people who don't need it. Frankly, I'm gonna cash that check, but like I don't need it. Like I'm fine. I'm still working. Like why is it getting sent to me? And to all the businesses who also don't need it, or who are suffering in part not because of government shutdowns, just because they want the bailout. And I did a whole half episode on the airline industry about that. There's so much ridiculous stuff going on in here. Like we had months, 8-9 months to figure this out, figure out how to do it better than last time. I didn't want to give them a pass last time on we need to get something done quick. I mean, I didn't give them a pass on that. But we had months to figure this out, months to figure out how to do things better. And yet we're still getting just tiny amount of direct relief from Americans. The PPP stuff, which was a mess last time, is probably going to be a mess this time too. Keep businesses open.
Oh, they've already rolled out another PPP program. We got notified yesterday that Senator Schumer has pushed through a provision in the new PPP second draw. That's what it's being called, the second drawdown of funds for PPP loans that's going to be aimed at broadcast stations. So we'll be, as long as I can make the case that we made less in 2020 during a certain calendar quarter than I did in 2019, we can go for money that hopefully will have to be repaid. Will not have to be repaid. By the way, there was some concern about the PPP funds being taxable income. And I guess the new COVID CARES Act has taken care of that. So, you have to pay tax on that.
Yeah, so at least they did that, because that would have been ridiculous, right, to tax that money as income. The IRS wanted to do that, by the way, because, it's the IRS.
Yeah, the IRS promulgated a rule saying, that's taxable income, and Congress apparently has taken it away from them.
Nope, just whatever the grab more of that money back and not send it back to you. Again, I don't even necessarily have a problem with the concept of the PPP. Like I kind of get it. Some of it's a bit silly, but I get it. It's just why, when you have this much time to come up with stuff, why not think of ways to do it better, to get to people and the companies who actually need it? We didn't need to do it this way. Again, Congress had the ability to talk about this stuff for a while, and nothing happened. The normal rank and file members weren't even able to participate in this process at all. They could have drawn on all the knowledge and needs of everyone in Congress. And I'm being a bit generous here with Congress, but they could have hashed it out. They chose not to. The leadership chose not to. And the members, Republicans, Democrats, chose to go along with this absolutely corrupt process.
Okay, here's a novel concept. How about we put people back to work and we stop these widespread, indiscriminate lockdowns? How about we let businesses start getting back to business and let the rampant economy, which is bubbling under this iron blanket of COVID lockdowns, let that be free, unless there's a real compelling reason on a local basis to lock things down.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, we talked about this last week. Governor Cuomo's own data suggests that people aren't getting sick from going to work. They're not getting sick from businesses, from gyms or salons, or even schools. Very few people are getting sick from these places. They're getting sick from house parties, basically. That was the only thing that they could find.
Well,
Why not let people back to work?
Yeah, they're getting sick because the COVID virus is doing what viruses do. It propagates through the population. You can't hide from it.
Yeah, exactly. But we can get back to work. We can have the economy moving again, and we can figure out ways to keep vulnerable populations safe. Same thing we've been saying for 8 months. All right, thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. We'll be back in just a few minutes to keep talking about this COVID stimulus. If you want to participate in the conversation, give us a call, 585-346-3000.
Don't be muzzled. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll have cloudy skies, a bit breezy out there. Temps will stay near 40. On Thursday, Christmas Eve, very mild, also turning very wet. Rain likely, a gusty wind out of the south, temps into the 50s. The weather will go downhill into Christmas Day. We're going to get some snow, likely a few inches of snow, enough for a white Christmas, and then areas of lake snow and much colder weather Friday afternoon. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Now is a great time to shop at Victor Chevrolet. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Winter driving is safe and fun when you lease the 2020 Equinox front-wheel drive LS. Just $129 a month for 36 months. Or buy it for just $24,990. Or enjoy the versatility of a tough and roomy 2021 Silverado LST. Lease for only $229 a month for 36 months. Or buy it for just $43,990. Lease a 2020 Chevy Trax LS front-wheel drive for just $89 a month for 36 months.
For Equinox, Trax, or Trailblazer, must have current lease and household. 10,000 miles per year. $2,500 cash or trade. First payment, tax, acquisition, and DMV fees are all due at signing for all leases.
Would you prefer to buy? Save big when you buy a 2019 Trax LT all-wheel drive with convenience package, power drive seat, and keyless entry and start. MSRP $26,145. Buy it now for just $19,990. This winter, find new roads at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor.
Visit VictorChevrolet.com.
Looking for unique gift ideas this Christmas? Think Springwater Amish Workshop, Route 15 in Springwater. In the warmer months, they enhance your yard with quality Amish-built storage buildings and furniture. Lasting American-made gifts for anyone, and they'll store your purchase till spring. Springwater Amish Workshop has gliders, rockers, picnic tables, lighthouses, swings, carports, and more. For the kids, check out toy boxes, children's tables and chairs, rocking horses, and doll cribs. Put their indoor accents under your tree like jelly cabinets, trash bins, clothes racks, benches, and hall trees. Let Springwater Amish Workshop with the festive touch on your property with gourd bird feeders, wood snowflakes, and Santa and snowman plaques. It's fun to shop for Christmas at Springwater Amish Workshop with COVID-safe premises, and it's a pretty drive just a few minutes from everywhere. The furniture and buildings are lovely, the craftsmanship's unmatched, and the pricing is the lowest in the area. Springwater Amish Workshop, 7936 Route 15 Springwater, open Monday and Wednesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Merry Christmas to all.
All Seasons Wine and Spirits, East Main Street, Avon, has a great selection of flavored liqueurs, including the ever-popular eggnog varieties. Get yours before they're gone. All Seasons Wine and Spirits has the area's largest selection of New York State wines. Save 15% on a case. You can mix and match. Open daily. Avon's home of good spirits. All Seasons Wine and Spirits.
Let's face it, sometimes local is just better. Locally grown, locally sourced. Shop local. At Allstate, Agent Vincenzo Scolo is just that, a local. Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Call Allstate agent Vincenzo Scolo, 381-3530, and see how much you can save. 2 locations, 835 Fairport Road in East Rochester and 919 Winton Road South in Rochester.
Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sheriff Thomas Doherty would like to remind you of some safety tips for the holiday season. Whether you have a live tree or an artificial one, make sure it is set up properly and kept away from any heat sources. Lights should be checked over carefully for fraying, broken sockets, or poor connections. When decorating your tree and home, make sure there are no sharp objects or hazardous items that children can get a hold of. When opening gifts, make sure wrapping paper, bags, and ribbons are kept away from small children. Sheriff Doherty and the Livingston County Sheriff's Office wish you a safe and happy holiday.
It's clear. Healthcare is changing. At UR Medicine, we're embracing technologies like telemedicine. It's a modern-day house call, allowing you to see your medical team from home and include family who can help with your care. It's easy to use, it's convenient, and it's effective. Telemedicine can't replace all in-person visits, but for many people, it's just what the doctor ordered. It's UR Medicine redesigned. Visit redesigned.urmc.edu.
Merry Christmas, YSL.
Soul Sun Chargers, the perfect gift idea. A simple, fun solution to charging problems on outdoor adventures. It cleverly gives your loved ones the power to stay connected should disaster strike. Coupon code WYSL gives you 25% off all mini sun charger bundles during the holiday season. Visit bestsunchargers.com today. And happy holidays from Soul Green Energy.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host today, joined by Bob Savage.
Hello, hello.
All right, and of course, again, you want to tell us any of the ridiculous stuff that we've missed in either the COVID relief bill or the big budget bill that has also passed. Give us a call, 585-346-3000. Again, shout out down the line to all the folks listening at WACK as well, out in Newark, and WENY, the Patriot down in the Southern Tier. And, of course, our friends online, too. Friends listening on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, any of those places. Thanks for being here today. And, you know, I mistakenly called the COVID bill a COVID stimulus bill. It's not a stimulus bill. People keep calling it a stimulus bill, and I've done it on accident, too. It's not a stimulus bill because the issue isn't, you know, we need money to stimulate the economy. The issue is that everything is shut down, so businesses can't open to operate. Like, if you get the extra money, there's not really stuff to go and buy with it. There's not extra stuff to stimulate the economy with it. That's not the issue here. It's a different side of the problem. It's a supply problem in many cases. But, Bob, you're absolutely right. You know, the solution to this is to open stuff up. That's the big solution.
Yeah. I don't think, honestly, that there's much hope in the near term for us to pare back government waste. So the only solution is to try to get the revenue flowing back into the coffers, hopefully at a faster rate than they can spend it. Although that's, you know, like increasingly a bigger challenge.
Yeah, that's probably impossible.
When you got people who seriously propose that they should spend money on things like building up Tunisia's political system and the Pakistani film industry, funding research that involves hooking zebrafish on nicotine. You know, I mean, all this stuff, it's like a bunch of college kids all sat around the dorm and came up with ridiculous ideas to waste money on, except it's real.
Yeah, if we want to get zebrafish hooked on nicotine, the tobacco industry is going to have to do that on their own dime. Again, you guys can do that yourself.
That's it. What it boils down to is there is a lobbyist class among the elites in Washington, D.C., and in order to get anything done in Washington, D.C., they have to be satiated. They have to be, you know, basically bought off. And this is the price that we pay for politicians.
Yeah. No, I don't like that. Again, everything's broken. And there are a few things in here I don't totally mind. Like, if we're doing a COVID relief bill, it makes sense, at least from a logical government perspective, to help out states to get like PPE and purchase pools of vaccines. Like, I at least get how that is related to what the government says it's doing. I understand that. And I have some, you know, critical feedback on some of that process too, and think that there's a lot of way markets can be a part of that process. But at least that I can connect with what they say they're trying to accomplish. The rest of this stuff, though, no, absolutely not. But, you know, we got, again, more stuff thrown in there. It's actually, they're giving a ton of money for education. And the part I don't like about that is, again, why are schools shut down? Well, they're shut down because despite evidence suggesting that most children should be able to attend school safely, many districts are continuing to shut down, including the area where I live in Rochester. And, in fact, another thing snuck into this is they're making it harder for charter schools to be able to, you know, open up and participate as well. They've put new things in there, and I'm going to have to dig more into that because I've just seen like a few clips of that and what the long-term implications of this are going to be. But the teachers' unions managed to sneak that in addition to lobbying for additional education funds for schools that are oftentimes closed. They've managed to make it harder for people to exercise greater choices in trying to escape the public school system that might not be serving students and children all that well.
Yeah, it's a concerted effort to try to avoid accountability for what's happening in public schools. And the national teachers unions have a massive wish list of liberal whack job causes that they want to push. And so basically they're holding the students hostage. You don't get to go back to class until we get our demands met. And I think that's evil.
Yeah, and again, not connected to science. There have been studies on this. Now, I'll see if I can post a link in the comments. I'll probably have to wait for after the show to get this. But the connection between schools being shut down isn't the case positivity rate or hospitalization rate in any particular district or area. It's how strong the teachers union is. Because teachers union, again, a lot of them say like, well, they'll make the argument that in order to be safe, they need to shut schools down. They want to get their full pay. They want to stay at home. Again, that isn't necessarily in the best interest of the children and families being served by those districts, though. It's in the best interest of the teachers, arguably, but not in the best interest of the people who are supposed to be served by this system. And I think we often forget who that's supposed to be. It's children and families. That's the whole point. But no, we haven't got to this yet, but Donald Trump, you kind of mentioned this. He said he was going to veto it. He didn't really say veto yet, but he did point out correctly a bunch of criticisms of this bill. He pointed out many of the things that you pointed out about the money being sent to Egypt, to Cambodia, to Burma. Pointed out that the Egyptians will probably go out and buy Russian military equipment, so making sure that Russia gets a little bit of that money too. But that wasn't Trump. That wasn't Trump. People like to say Trump's in the pocket of Russia or whatever. Nope. That was Congress. They've done that. And what he's calling for is that stimulus check being sent out to Americans to go from $600 a person to $2,000 a person. So unfortunately, the compromise that's being made is to spend more money. Do you agree with this, Bob?
Yeah, the alarming thing about that is that Nancy Pelosi immediately endorsed it. She said, let's do it.
So the squad, too. They're like,
anytime Nancy Pelosi agrees with you, you know that you're headed down the wrong path.
Yeah, no, Nancy Pelosi and some of the far left Democrats in Congress were like, great, this is what we wanted to do all along. Tell the Republicans to go along with it. That was their argument. They're like, awesome. So the compromise we may end up getting, if this ends up, getting changed, is that we're going to spend more money. That's another several $1 billion.
Well, I believe wasn't the price tag for Trump's package $1.8 trillion?
Yeah. So let's see, if we up it from, it's going to be an additional $50 billion if they make it a $2,000 stimulus. Extra $50 billion. I mean, again, $50 billion here and there. What does it even matter at this point, right, Bob?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where this whole thing is headed. I mean, the national debt is like so stratospheric that nobody can even conceptualize it, much less ever hope to pay it back. So paying it back, what we're embracing, basically what we're seeing here is this is part of a one-worlder thing where we're headed towards modern economic theory. It's like the Lafleur formula on crack, where every country in the world just prints whatever money they need. The currencies in the world are completely, untethered from any supporting value system.
Yeah, it's not connected to anything. It doesn't matter. The dollar has value as long as we all pretend it has value.
Right.
Right. That's where we're at.
Remember what happened in Cyprus a few years back when people went to the ATMs and they found out that the government had just stolen all their money, and that the maximum that they could get out of the ATM was $30 or something. You just expand that on a global scale, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean I don't even know. Maybe we are past the point of no return on some of this stuff, but I would like to think that there is someone out there besides like Justin Amash, Thomas Massey, and Rand Paul who still care about financial responsibility, and a handful of other, mostly Republicans and libertarians at this point. don't think I ever see Democrats talk about fiscal responsibility. It's just not a thing to them. All right, so we'll keep talking about this right after the break. Again, if you have anything else, give us a call, 585-346-3000. 585-346-3000. This is a free solution. Be back soon.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, "He is my refuge and my fortress, for he will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease."
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson today, joined by Bob Savage.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yes, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. In a couple days, finally going to be Christmas time, and then soon 2020 will be over, and we will have, I'm sure, another wonderfully ridiculous year in 2021. Looking forward to it. And this bill sets us up for that.
Yeah, the Georgia senatorial races, there's a lot of things looming on the horizon that we're just, wait for those shoes to drop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a wild race as well, seeing what's happening, seeing how people are reacting to that. Because there's still a few people saying, like, oh, they're so mad about Trump in Georgia that they're saying don't participate in that race, that there's a few folks saying that. I don't know how big that actually is or how much it'll actually impact people. But, like, to me, like, I don't feel like I'm not living in Georgia. And we do have, other folks on the station who are from there, and we've had them on the show before who care much more about this. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that sending more Republicans to the Senate is going to make a huge difference here. But it sounds like we've got a caller on the line. John. You with us?
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Bob. Merry Christmas.
Hey, John. I see the Bills left a really nice present at your place.
Absolutely. Super Bowl. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones right now. They got the momentum going. It feels like 1990 when they started out a little slow and then they hit a high note.
Well, Josh Allen has really come into his own. He's certainly the most promising quarterback in the league.
You know, it's funny when he was drafted. There was you had Sam Darnold, you had Lamar Jackson, great college quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson especially. But you know, one of the things that made a difference. Two things made a difference. I think why the Pagulas took him. Number one, he's a conservative. And the Pagulas
Yay!
And number two, he's his Wonderlic test, which is the NFL IQ test, was significantly higher than any other competition, including Darnold and Lamar Jackson. I think they saw the intelligence in the kid, his attitude, and he was a hard worker, and he was kind of a blank slate. He was very teachable and very intelligent, so I think that's why they drafted him.
Anyway, it's not sports talk. What did you call in about?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, you guys are talking about the deficit and Trump and whatever in Congress. And I'll tell you, I don't know why the Democrats are so surprised. Trump, I told my Democratic friends when Trump got elected, and my leftist friends when he got elected, that they should be happy because Trump's a liberal. That's the nature of Donald J. Trump. He's been a liberal all his life, the old traditional liberal, and he would be a pretty big spender.
Yeah, well,
and he has been.
Yeah, he certainly has been, but the political left would not be comfortable with traditional liberalism, obviously.
Well, you hit it on the head, Bob. Most of the Democrats today is definitely the AOCs, and I'll call her Cortez. I won't give her the time of day on AOC. It's Cortez to me, but that part of the party, including Schumer and Pelosi, they're not liberals. They're leftists. The three of us are liberals.
Classic liberals, yeah.
Yeah, we're the old-fashioned liberals, and that's what really ticks me off when they liberal versus leftist. They're leftists. That's what's ruined this country.
I think that moniker has been pretty much abandoned. I think the term, Kevin will correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think the term is now progressive.
Yeah, no, they're like progressive.
And you and I know that it should be regressive because that's what it is.
Well, it's progressive much in the same way that rust eats your car, or that you get fat as you get older, or that if you allow one cockroach in your home, you're going to have thousands of cockroaches in your home. So that's what progressive means.
Yeah, when I see progressive, I think of regressive, and I think of leftist. One thing I was going to mention, I heard Cuomo today. He might consider 6,700 fans at the playoff game.
67? What?
Yeah. I just saw that. That came out at noon.
Yeah, 6,700 fans. But if you are one of the chosen ones, you have to get tested before the game, and you've got to give all the information in regards to the contact tracers. I'll tell you, it's unbelievable that in order to get 6,700, that represents basically 10%.
I was going to say,
less than 10%.
Doesn't Bill Stadium seat 65,000?
It's 72.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you, he is a real dictator. He's unbelievably bad. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, Ron DeSantis in Florida. From what I can see, I've got a lot of friends down there. I know you guys do too. Mm-hmm. And I hear from them on a weekly basis. Ron DeSantis is doing one heck of a job. That's the model that Fredo should be using, is the DeSantis model. And I did some little bit of research, I think 10 days ago, regarding deaths per 1,000 due to COVID. And New York State's at 1,800 per million. Florida and Texas are at like 800 to 900. So New York State, right now under Governor Fredo, we have a death rate that's 100 to 125% more than Texas and Florida. What governor would you want?
Well, I don't want this one.
Exactly.
No. And last I had checked, it was about equal But even if it's about equal,
I checked, Kevin. I checked.
You might check more recently than me.
10 days ago, and it's that it's 100 to 125% higher death rate per million in New York than it is in Florida and Texas.
Yeah,
and by the way,
I was going to say, even if it is equal, though, that's still saying that like the lockdowns aren't making a significant difference in New York compared to Florida, where they are much less restrictive.
Actually, the most recent data study that I just saw, just before I went on the air here, is that lockdowns actually increase the mortality rate.
Yes, I heard that, and I believe it. And even Cuomo had said that. Remember, going back 3 or 4 months ago, he was shocked that people staying in homes, locked down, were more susceptible to COVID than the people that didn't. He was shocked over that, those results.
Actually, I did just look it up. John, you were right. It is much higher in New York than Florida. Death rate per 100,000 is 188 in New York and is 96 currently in Florida.
Sweden is a little under 800 per 1 million, which is very similar to Florida or Texas. So that's the reason I did a little research, because people were saying, well, Sweden's out of control, and that's what they get for not locking down. Well, the results are in the statistics.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you got anything else for us, John? We got a little bit of time left.
Well, I got that off my chest. How's that?
I appreciate.
And I'll one more comment.
Go ahead.
I'm not. The more I've seen this fraudulent election, the irregularities, whatever you want to call it, the more I observe what happened over the last 4 years to Donald J. Trump and the injustice of it all. I'm not that ticked off at the Democrats. I'm ticked off at the media. If the media did their job, the Democrats couldn't get away with this. That's the real culprit here, is the media. And you guys know the study that was done by Harvard University about a year and a half ago that concluded that coverage of Trump was 92% negative. That represented 100% more than what Obama was. And that, to me, is the reason we're in the situation we are in today.
Well, there's no question that the media is the PR arm of the Democrat Party, which is to say the global left. But thanks. Merry Christmas to you and Judy. John, thanks for calling and appreciate it.
Merry Christmas to you, Bob.
All right, take care.
Thanks for calling, John. Go Bills. and folks at home can't see me. I am wearing my Bills hat today, as usual, mostly wearing that. Super excited about the Bills. And I doubt that I'm going to be one of the lucky few to go and attend the playoff games in person, but I am excited about it nonetheless.
So you got to do contact tracing, you have to have a test, and you have to promise to make a $2,500 donation to the Cuomo re-election campaign.
A small price to pay, but
boy, where do I sign up?
And no jumping through tables, I'm sure. They're going to restrict all the pregame stuff, so I can't even tailgate. But all right, well, we'll see how all that goes. And thanks again for joining us here on on A Free Solution. I almost said the old one. All right, but thanks again for joining us on A Free Solution. I'm going to be off Friday. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll talk to you next week. Have a wonderful holiday.